all of a sudden everything is done and everything is good again.
Hey,
And
hey, hey,
yeah,
hey, all.
good
Hello.
evening,
Good evening.
Kuzma.
Good evening,
Evening.
guys.
Hello.
Uh, I can hear myself in
Yeah,
someone's.
let me wait a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Y-
it's good now.
Yeah.
Yep. So, welcome to Crash Course at Bathurst. Let's start to talk about the track. Um, it's a pretty long. I still hear myself. It's a bit confusing. Check, 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 check.
Yeah, it's not from me. It's I am muted. I
SISU,
hear myself too.
Is it me?
I guess.
Okay, then I will mute myself.
Check, check. 1, 2, 3.
Everything
Yeah.
good.
Yep. Okay, the length is 6.2 kilometers. It's a pretty long track with 23 corners as counted by iRating. That means that you make a lot of corners per lap and you get a lot of safety rating. And the fun thing is that you usually end your stint either with 0x or on a road track, just because of specific of this track. It has a long and slow speed limit, 50 kilometers per hour, and 22 pit stalls. That means that if you qualified near 22nd position or 44th position, you will be at the end of the pit lane, or you will be first on entry, and it may cause some mess. The pit entry here is a bit tricky. Also, it's a high altitude track, about 1 kilometer above the sea level. It ain't much, but it it means that the air here is less dense, which means you can use less downforce, rely less on downforce, and natural aspirated engines struggle here. So turbo engines have an advantage. Well, it's not a big issue for Bathurst. Usually they fix it with the BOP. But Porsche, which is naturally aspirated, is a bit less have a bit less power than turbo cars. Also, I saw in telemetry and even recheck myself that this track has almost 200 meters, like 1 and 7 of elevation change. Like it's a huge elevation change. For example, Nürburgring, which is 4 times longer, have around 300 meters elevation change between minimum and maximum. Here, it's almost 200 meters. That's yeah, that's crazy. Also, this track was a spot for initiation for the tribes that lived here before, and the initiation for young men, and it was initiation event for SISU Motorsport. First race we did as a team for special event. So yeah, that's initiation race for us. Okay, so the plan is we'll go through the lab, see all references, all specifics, and then you will do sub labs if you want to with telemetry, see how is it going. Okay, let's go to the lab. The lap was 159.7. not an ideal lap, could be better, but this is ideal conditions. Setup, lap, all that stuff in the link in the description to the stream, so you can download it to compare myself to this lap. Starting on the finish straight. And I start braking around 75 meters. But the big specific of this track is that it's a public roads. Like you can see, the road goes here. It's just a crossing, and in the times when it's not closed for race, it's just a public roads. People are driving here. Those who like Bathurst as the track, and those who live here. Some residents doesn't have any other ways out of their homes, like on these roads. And that means that technically it's a street circuit. And that gives us the clue how we will drive it. Okay, so the track has two slopes. How to say it correctly? It has a middle line, and the right side is has a slope to the right and left to the left. Well, we already get used to such thing since Daytona. But here it's a road surface, so this slope is a bit more prominent. That's first. And the second, the track see all the bad stuff that can see road surface, like trucks, a lot of traffic, and the track is not rubbering between sessions, so it has less grip, and we should consider it. And also in turn 1 you can see that it has a bump, and this bump is somewhere near our turning point, so we need to consider it too. Probably sometimes you can start brake at the edge of the road, but then move a bit to the left to avoid this this bump. And as I said, the center line is very prominent, so when you drive over it, the car bounces and loses contact with the road too. You can even go in slow-mo, I guess, and look at the car body. Bounce here, then falls on the left, and on exit it falls again and do its stuff. So yeah, it's not an easy track, it's not an easy turn. The replay don't want to move back for some reason. Where am I? Oh. Doesn't want to rewind. For me, for some reason. Anyway, we'll do this with buttons then. Yeah, you can see car bounces in this turn. And in this turn to 75 meters, start braking, turning in, and trying to get as much speed as I can through there. It's better to not touch the curb, especially in this setup. It's very very sturdy, very stiff. So ideally, we want to avoid it. Be close, but avoid it. And since the surface specifics I told about, the line, usual line in the turn, like just imagine usual turn, you start to turn in, somewhere gaining rotation, somewhere here start accelerating and goes out. With this specifics, the line looks like this. You're braking a bit longer, start turning and rotating more at the beginning, because since here you lose some grip. Just jump in here, then rotate into the apex, start accelerating, and trying to... It looks like more like late apex in here, if without much words. Just every turn is like a bit of late apexing. And I think when you usually turn, you reach this point and like, I'm making this turn, start accelerating, but here I'm waiting a bit more to drop the car, get a bit more rotation, because you don't have much grip since here, so you can't turn the car on the exit. You want to turn in the middle. And the same in every other corner here. So a bit late apexing, a bit more rotation to not ask the car for more than it will give you on the exit. You can use all that stuff here. And I'm driving in the middle. Well, that's because two loops, left to right, and when we're driving here, we have a peak point here, so our car drives something here, and we have less space at the bottom than if we drove on a flat surface. Like we'd have more air here, and we've had more downforce, we've had more drag, so when driving on the middle of the road, we are reducing drag. It ain't much, but yeah, still worth it. Just drive in the middle, nothing very complicated. I'm shifting here to 6. I could stay in 5th and save some fuel, but overall it's a bit faster to shift on the blue lights or right before blue lights. I think I can show it. So yeah. So as you can see, it's an acceleration on the gears. That acceleration falls a bit at the highest revs, and the next gear provide a bit more acceleration. Looks like something this. So ideally you want to shift even a bit earlier than I did, but it's good enough too. For this turn, here's my braking reference. The thing is that we are driving this race in February. And since it's on Australia, it's their summer. It's the hottest time of the year. So in a race, you can see track temperatures as low as 18, 20 degrees and as high as 60 degrees. Depends on the weather. And that means that your braking references may move very, very much. Need to consider it, but overall my braking reference is this patch and a small bump before it. It's here. Yeah, you can see it. The bump here. And after that patch, there is another bump. And if you drive non-ABS car, this bump, well, killed a lot of people. Because you are braking, jumping on this bump, and you have no grip if you don't reduce your pressure. Braking, waiting a bit longer, and here's another thing. This turn is uphill, so we have to try to bring more speed that we get used to in the turn, because the slope, we're going uphill, so it will slow us down more. So we need to use less our brakes and keep the maximum momentum we can and bring it into the turn. Turn is cambered 2, and we start accelerating very early. Again, we are going uphill. Our acceleration will be lower than usually. So we want to keep this momentum and don't touch the wall. If you touch the wall, well, in Bathurst, it's the main thing. Stay away from the wall. Love the walls. Don't afraid them. Try to tap them, but don't crash into them. Next section. Let's watch it. Again, uphill. We want to stay on throttle early and bring a lot of speed. Here I'm staying on the wall and starting to throw the car into this turn. As a marker, you can take this, whatever it is. And then, since here, I start braking a bit. And trying to keep the line into this turn. So sometimes I'm missing it, so I need to do a bigger arc, sometimes narrower, but yeah, you're trying to roll the car in the blind here, and then whatever line you get, well, that's the line you will do. Also, here is, yeah, you can see here that it's very bumpy behind this white line. And if you very wide, it's not good. The car will bounce, the car will lose the grip, and in long races, here a lot of marbles and other stuff. Well, even less grip than it usually have. Bring the speed here, accelerate as early as you can. Here, of course, on the inside, it's well, natural bump when you're going over the crest. So rears may lose the grip, but usually most setups care about this turn a lot, and they're trying to reduce wheel spin at every cost, because this turn, after this turn, we have a flat out section at least in the cold weather flat out section, that well, it's just an uphill straight, and how fast and how good you take this corner, it determines your speed on the next on the wall going uphill for you. And on the exit, as you can see, I haven't used the wall check because I want to stay, well, at least here, at least in the center, because again, the next crest, and this crest is more prominent on the inside, so you want ideally take it outside, because here, if you take it shallow, your car will jump and you just lose acceleration. But we want to keep it, so try to be as left as possible, but not too left, like not at all cost left, because here you have no grip, especially in long races with marbles, and you don't have camber, so you want to be on the middle or on the right half, like in this spot. You want to be in this spot. Okay. So first of all, when you start learning, just start tuning, go near this inner wall, and start brake. And try to get some line to the apex here. You're trying to do late apex here too, but not too late to not get off camber. Like be on the middle, that's the best spot for you. Okay, let's do it without interruptions. And we already going uphill. This turn in best conditions flat out. I'm using all the track here, but in long races, I'm not sure I will do it. In previous years, marbles were here, and well, I had more grip staying behind the white line than going all the way to the left. Here, pretty uncomfortable section. First of all, the dip here. You kind of see it from there, but still not enough time to, adjust your line if you did something wrong. So you have to aim somewhere in the middle here, somewhere on this tree or something. Here, the same thing as were in previous turn. Marbles usually here, but you have some grip from the going uphill, so it's not a big deal. But the big deal is that you have some bottoming here. What's going on with cameras today? Yeah, sorry. So you can see, especially on the right rear, it bouncing here. So, and it's not a lot actually. It's already, the stiffest setup that prevent a lot of bounce, and it's just a few taps that really hard to fix. And that's why you need to take the straightest line here. Well, you want to turn in there and then go as straight as you can. So essentially making the late apex too. think it will sounds much more easier. So that's how it looks without interruptions. Full throttle, just the downforce if you have some. If not, well, you have troubles. Here, next turn, very tricky. You see, I'm already starting to turn in, and well, looks like it's too early. And if this turn was flat without the bump, yeah, I would start to turn in, I guess somewhere here, maybe even later. But I'm starting here because at this exact place where I would need a grip if I turn in, I wouldn't have it because of the bump. So I'm driving somewhere to the middle, aiming to the middle of the track. Release a bit of throttle to, first of all, decrease speed a bit, and the second to load fronts. And as soon as I land and get grip, I'm trying to turn in and make this corner. Let's do it again. A bit slower. Aim to the middle. Car unsettled. Okay, I start to get a grip, so I turn in. You can touch this curb to get some more rotation, but I found it's not very, predictable and stable. Sometimes you hit it hard and, well, get a lot of understeer instead and a lot of troubles. I'd say it's the most crashable place at all track. Before it, we had a starting section which kind of have a runoff area. Then we have uphill section which has walls on both sides, and even if you slow down for the crash, you most likely will be killed by the guys from behind. So if you have a crash in front of you, just try to slow down a bit and pray. And here there is a runoff area, so it looks pretty safe, but it's not. Like, cars spin on landing, car goes wide because they didn't turn in on bump, car spin from this curb, car spin from this curb, and you can see the shape of barriers bring all this stuff, all this crashed car back on the track in this bottleneck right before skyline. And I think this is the most dangerous space where a lot of things can happen. Okay, we climbed the mountain all the way. Some questions on this part, on the uphill part?
No, not really for me.
Okay, since no questions, let's go downhill then. Skyline, and you can see this bright spot. It's sun flare. The sun will be somewhere in front of you on the morning. So morning stints will have sun in the eyes. Use dark shades, use exposure correction. Well, be ready for the sun to be here. And it must be so thrilling to drive here in real life, because, wow, so that's a huge downhill. And yes, stay on the left. There is a bump, and from here you are aiming to the inner side. I'm holding a bit of braking and start brake here, releasing a bit to make a turn. then brake again, turning, and here finish this the snake into the deeper. Okay, let's go back and step by step. Okay, we already want to drive close to the inner side, and in there we want to place our car here on the left side, as left as possible, to open up this right header. So in there, look at the line, considering place your car, to land your car somewhere here. If your car is okay with the curbs, have ABS, you can attack this curb and trying to stay here. If not, or if it not stable over this curve, well, drive a bit to the right, it's fine. You don't have to use this curve. So from here, we want to place our car somewhere here to open up this dip. So we want to place it here, and we are planning our line through this section, keeping this in the mind. So I turn. There is also camber here, so be a bit faster than it looks. And since there, we just trying to not crash here, and stand on throttle and drive out here as fast as we can. Just two main points. We want the car here, and we want the car here. Usually the biggest mistake here is over braking, being too slow, even to the point when you add throttle before the dipper. Depends on the car, but in GT3s you can, you know, brake a bit more. You have relaxed braking mode, let's say that. So try to brake, not out brake yourself. Brake exact amount you need to the dipper, if that makes sense. Okay, without interruptions, let's go. Yeah, that was close to the wall, but, well, this track requires to be near the wall. And the last turn into this mountain section, I put the car on the left here and go to the apex somewhere here. Already starting braking. Technically, you can brake a bit later, like start braking somewhere here, but I prefer, you know, a bit more predictable platform, so I start braking here. And of course, there is a crest. We won't have much braking force here, so we start our main braking only here on landing, load our fronts, and try to turn in. The track here is very bumpy. It's a nightmare to drive through here in the non-ABS cars, but in GT3s, well, pretty good and stable. Here too, the most common mistake is overslowing the car. I think I overslowed in this run. Yeah, I was too slow. Yeah, I tried to bring speed here. I was on 90 kilometers per hour, 95. Not sure about 100, but I think it's reachable. So since here, since well, this part of the job, we are standing on throttle, and naturally our car should be very close to this wall, which was not the case on this lap. So 1 or 2/10 lies here for sure. How it looks in dynamic. Yeah, that was not very good execution by me. Some stay on the straight line when they break, and straight line to the apex, like goes here. Some trying to goes here. I'm using something in the middle. Well, all lines works, but in endurance races, here are marbles, so it will reduce your grip here, and marbles will be here. So something like middle line will be working fine, like this line. Okay, back straight. Long with the huge elevation changes. Again, we're staying on the middle track. We have corner here, which is not a corner on GT3, but it is a corner when it's wet or you side by side. Because, for example, if the car on the right, you're driving on the somewhere here, and you are on out-cambered part here. So take this in, keep this in mind when you taking this corner too wide, and especially in wet. Here, 100 Bathurst reference, we can brake very hard because we have we went downhill right now. We have a compression, and the corner itself goes uphill, so it will add us a grip. And since this corner is uphill too, we are trying to add to bring speed into it, like we did to the first turns. We're braking hard, decreasing braking, trying to rotate the car, accelerating. Well, as we know, on the outside we will have out-cambered, so we will have a hard time to turn to the left, but we will have a good time to turn to the right. So we are trying to rotate left here, and on this part we are trying to rotate right. And taking in mind we are an out-cambered part here too. Going to the last turn. My braking marker, like non-existent, 75 meters, somewhere here. Okay, now we have marker, and you can see this this white line is not very wide here, well, because of the tires, and this is approximately near our 75 board, so you can watch here, though it's not a good reference when you, for example, side by side, try to include this patch of the road as your brake marker, because you will be side by side here, naturally. Okay, first of all, I took this corner not the best way. I braked too much. This corner, for some unknown for me reason, has much less grip than other corners. Or maybe some stuff that is invisible here. Well, it has bumps, that's why braking is not very effective here, and we are braking very early, I'd say, by the feelings. And we are braking with not like this huge force. It's overkill. We brake less. And the trick in this corner is that I'm trying to break. You see this small extension part, small sumpu, as they say in rally, and I'm trying to drive like here, like I'm aiming to take the whole track here, but it's just mental trap. I'm trying to stay as wide as possible, because if I'm taking this corner as usual, I'm ending on very narrow line here. But when I'm aiming on this extension, I somehow take wider line. Don't know, not sure how it works, but that's how it works. And early acceleration, using the curb and to the finish line. And couple words about pit entry, as I love it. Love this topic. Pit entry is tricky. Find breaking points as for dry pit entry and for wet pit entry on wet tires, and wet pit entry on dry tires, because even if rain stops, the pit entry may be very wet, even when you drive on dries. Right, yeah. Usually you start braking, from what I remember, somewhere here, and the shape is tricky too. So don't try to make all these corners. Try to find the line that goes something like that, without off checks. And the second trap is that pit cone is here, already near the first pit stall. So if you're on qualified 22nd or 44th, your car will be here, and you even don't need to go in pit limiter mode. You're just braking straight to your pit stall. Practice this too. And remember that the cone is here, because I saw a lot of drivers turn pit limiter here for some reason, or here, well, everywhere except for the actual cone. This is the time that lies here for free. Remember it. And that's all for pit entry, I guess. And that's all for Bathurst lap. Any questions? Commentaries?
It will be very interesting.
Let's do the full lap, I guess, then, without my talking. Can we please? That's a lap. Okay, so I think if you want to do a few laps, you can load the test drive session and just share the screen.
I actually didn't know that the track was so much cambered on the center of the road.
Yeah,
so it's
that's
really helpful.
that's the usual thing for street circuits.
Yeah, I somehow knew that it is kind of a street circuit, but I also thought at the same time that the track is also racetrack, kind of. So the profile of the road is more like that of a racetrack. So this explains quite a lot of my mistakes I made in the past.
Yep. And as most of the iconic tracks, it's multi-setup track, so you can use, well, with some degree high downforce setup, medium setups, low downforce setups, and be fast in the certain part of the track. Right now I'm playing with the middle setup, middle downforce setup, and the setup that is in the folder, the middle downforce too.
Yeah, this track must be insane with the supercars.
Yes. Yeah, that's I actually recommend to try it for, in test drive or whatever, demo drive it in demo drive. And yeah, especially in the heat, it's dancing on the throttle. So will anyone drive and stream?
I want, but I can't.
Yeah, definitely.
I can just do the test drive.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine
I can,
without
but
separate
I
session.
haven't been able to do any practice, so I have like no experience in here, so it will be very hard. Maybe it's
then
better than if Ken could do it.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
gonna
I,
do it.
yeah,
Um,
I need to do
how,
some couple laps just to settle a little bit, and then I can show it to you.
how shall we set the weather for the test?
I'm using perfect weather, like lowest temperature, lowest humidity, lowest all, and around 15 degrees or 15% of track usage.
So this was not at 60 degrees.
No.
Oh, okay.
On 60 degrees or close to that, yes, we saw 60 degrees on one of the Bathurst, and I must say that I'd better drive in the rain than 60 degrees track. So these turns stops being flat out, and braking points are moving, and lap times I think varies from 2.0 to 2.6, depending on track temperature. And we are talking about dry track. If it's wet, well, that's completely different story, especially because due to this camber, the only dry part of the track is somewhere in the middle. Both sides are in the water. Especially this turn is a killer in the wet because huge puddle here.
Yeah. Do you know anything about the expected conditions for the race?
No. Nobody knows.
Okay.
Previous year it was tropical storm. I guess this time we'll pick something other. Personally, I love this track. The only thing is just if you caught in pile up, well, just prepare mentally that you could either do full first stint, or you can do just 1 or 2 laps and tow to the pit stop. Unfortunately, that's the reality of this track. Without safety cars, without all the stuff, nobody will brake for yellow flag, and it will be a track blockage.
Yeah. This will be carnage.
Usually no.
Where do we have any setups for this track?
In the description to stream, there is a file.
Yeah.
Something I wanted to say and forgot. Oh, mind.
Can I put it in G61?
Yeah.
Okay.
They are not it. You know, some handmade tweaking. Not happy with them, but they are good enough.
If it's good enough for you, then it's perfect for me.
Who knows? Who knows? It's a very sturdy setup. I suspect that it will be not really drivable in high temperature conditions.
So, which setup are we using, Kuzma?
If you download it from description, then this. Or you can just take medium downforce. iRating medium downforce is good enough too. I was using sort of medium downforce too. Oh, you've got a fog.
Sorry?
You've got a fog on track.
Yeah. I don't expect to get round the first lap.
You will be cautious on first lap, maybe on second. First lap, this turn is not really flat out in most setups, and this turn too.
I really struggle taking that one flat out anyway.
Be brave. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, some reason stream is lagging. Not really watchable. I think I have to stop the stream then, and just watch you.
It's perfect for me. I love this
Okay.
HD stream.
Am I set properly for the stream or not?
I think
So thank you for watching. Who's watching on YouTube?
How do I set